let's make a really delicious lemon parmesan crispy cutlet with the most luscious lemon butter sauce that I know you and your family are just gonna love. Because listen, here's the thing, when it comes right down to it, we all know one thing is that adults and kids alike love a cutlet, okay? There is nothing wrong with a plain cutlet shoved into a sandwich with whatever toppings your heart desires, or cut it up, hand it to the kids. If they want to put ketchup on it, by all means. But how do we elevate that just a little bit? Let's make a really delicious shallot lemon butter pan sauce that coats these chicken cutlets so well, you are gonna freaking love it. So let's roll through it. You need some chicken breast, nice and thin. I don't like my chicken too thin for this, otherwise it's almost see-through and it dries out really too much. So this is pretty perfect. I would say about 1/4 inch, maybe a little bit less. You're gonna start a really easy dredging situation. I skip the flour because it makes the coating come right off the chicken. So all I do is just do a couple of eggs, a little bit of milk, I do some salt. I'm gonna skip the pepper, but I am gonna do some freshly grated parm. And the parm, once it mixes with the eggs, it just gets a little bit thicker, meaning it's gonna coat your chicken really nicely. Now let's talk breadcrumbs. I use plain regular breadcrumbs, and I like to grate some fresh parm in the breadcrumbs. A lot of people like using store-bought Italian seasoned breadcrumbs. I don't love that. I feel like it's, they taste like canned cheese, and I don't like that. I like some fresh cheese, and I like it to be delicious and just nibbly and salty and all the right things. So once those are mixed together, I'm gonna add a little bit of salt to the breadcrumbs. That looks fantastic. You could do a mix of half regular breadcrumb, half panko if you wanted to. I'm gonna go ahead and whisk the eggs and parm mixture, and in the meantime I'm gonna go ahead and preheat a large skillet. I've got some light olive oil in there. We're not deep frying, we're just shallow frying some cutlets. So get that ready. We're gonna lightly salt both sides of your chicken, because you really want to make sure every bit of your process, in terms of ingredients and steps and all that, they're properly seasoned, so that when you bite into something, it's just like uniform and like perfect all around, because there's nothing worse than like biting into like a salty breading and then really bland everything else. Dip it into your egg, dredge it into that breadcrumb coating. And then it's a good idea to just let them sit for just a few minutes, just literally while your oil preheats, because what happens is your breadcrumbs will start to adhere to the chicken, so that the chicken and the breadcrumbs cook harmoniously and the breadcrumbs don't fall off right away in your oil. So I'm gonna just let them sit for a few minutes while my oil gently preheats, and then we'll start cooking. These look great. My oil is nice and hot. Who can possibly turn down a cutlet? But I will give you a very funny story, okay? You guys know I have a 7-year-old. And if you've been with me a long time, I have mentioned quite a few times that my daughter is a very picky eater. There's one thing she will not walk away from. That's a good cutlet, okay? And she pretty much ate her body weight's worth of cutlets in Italy. By the time we were done, she was so tired. She was so over eating so many chicken cutlets that she told me, and get ready for this, take it up with her, not me. She told me she loves Italy, but she kind of doesn't like the food. Can you stand it? We ate cutlets every day. One of us at the table, whether it was in Ischia, in Naples, like wherever we were, someone at the table ordered chicken cutlets, because cutlets are heavenly. Everyone from adults to kids loves cutlets. Me, Mike, all of us were ordering cutlets one day at a restaurant in Ischia, and they were so good. They were like gnarly looking. They took chicken breast and they must have pounded it, and it was all gnarly, and that's the best part, because then you get like bits and pieces. Speaking of the devil, come here for a second. Come here for a second. Yes, okay. Can you tell our friends that you said you love Italy, but you don't love the food?
I love Italy, but I don't.
And all of a sudden she picked up a British accent, so there's that. But I promise you, everyone will love these cutlets. Look at this. Look at that. Why I grabbed the smallest tongs I own, I don't know. They're gorgeous. I'm gonna go ahead and cook them on the other side. It's gonna take a few minutes. You wanna make sure that they're fully cooked through because I'm not gonna really finish them in the pan in order to retain the texture and crunch. I don't wanna like have them swimming in the pan for a long time. I'm just gonna put them in there last minute. So I wanna make sure that they're fully cooked through. And then once I take them out, I'm gonna cook my last one. And then I'll clear the pan and we make our sauce. I'm also gonna chop up a shallot. It's right here. Chop it up. Cutlets are done. I just went ahead and took a few slices of lemon, just caramelized them a tiny bit. It's mainly for the end, for the presentation. You don't have to, of course. But you know, I like things to look pretty. But it's nice to, if you're gonna do that, take a paper towel, okay? You see like there's some sort of burnt pieces. That's the natural sugars from the lemon. Just wipe the excess of that off because it can be a bit bitter and we don't want nor need that. So anyway, you're gonna take good olive oil, that, a dab of butter. I'm gonna go ahead and to that, I'm gonna add a finely chopped shallot. You could do garlic if you wanted to. I'm gonna go ahead and do a shallot instead. Let that soften, caramelize a bit. Grab grab a 1 spoon. Give that a couple of minutes. Now here's where I'm gonna hit you with some options. I'm gonna make my pan sauce directly from chicken stock, okay? Or you could use, this is like water with bouillon powder and lemon juice. And I'm gonna finish it with butter, okay? You can do that. Or you can do 3/4 of a cup of chicken stock, 1/4 cup of dry white wine, and the juice of a lemon. If you don't want to add the wine, you do what I'm doing. It's completely up to you. But you know, I like to give you options because honestly, that's what life's all about. The shallots are just about where I want them. I'm gonna go ahead and add my lemon juice. I'm gonna do a full lemon's worth because I like things lemony. And this is all about having a really nice lemony pan sauce. Add that in. And now all you're gonna do is let that reduce by half. That's all you're gonna do, which will take anywhere between 3 to 5 minutes. Get some parsley chopped up, get some butter ready, and you're that close to being done. Real easy, but everybody will love it. All right, you can see that's thickening up. I'm gonna go ahead and take a tablespoon of butter and I'm just gonna coat it in a bit of flour. I'm gonna add that right in. That's gonna give you a really beautiful buttery flavor, glossy finish, and thicken your sauce. Add in some parsley. You can tell it almost starts thickening it immediately. And here's the thing, like, you know, I could have shown you a different recipe. I know that you rely on Laura in the kitchen, me, for dinner time inspo, but I really try to pride myself on the fact that I share recipes that I just know your family will love. And there's gonna be times in your life where one kid wants one thing, another person wants another, but everyone loves cutlets. And if they don't want the pan sauce, give them the cutlets by themselves. But look at the sauce. I want you to look at what happened in 30 seconds, okay? I want you to see how buttery and glossy and gorgeous that is. And now I'm gonna go ahead and take my cutlets, okay? You're gonna lose a little bit of the crunchiness on the bottom, but that's okay, because what this means is that you're gonna get a sublime, gorgeous, I broke that one, a really beautiful, sublime dinner with a sauce that is spoonably delicious, and then you can serve over just about anything. You wanna serve it over rice, you wanna serve it over angel hair. It makes enough sauce to serve over a starch. You could do a mashed potato or red skin garlic mash. Look at that, right? It's everything I want it to be. Taste that sauce. Oh, turn it off. That sauce it's so good. Let me get a fork and a knife. I can't. I'm not waiting. Because I want that right there. Look at that I know your mouth is watering. Hot. I don't get it. I always say this, and I mean it from the bottom of my corazon. The simplest food is always the most delicious. It's like we're really highlighting a good cutlet. The lemon and the butter sauce is so just like light and luscious and delicious and just goes together well. Didn't take a long time. It's not expensive to make. It's everything. Go to laurainthekitchen.com for the written recipe. I sure hope you make this for your family. Leave any ideas, suggestions for fall recipes down below. I love to do lots of soups, one pot wonders, maybe some sheet pan meals. So leave me your ideas down below and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye. That's amazing.